Let me be honest with you. There's nothing fun about feeling like you weren't enough for someone you gave your heart to, especially when that someone is a woman you really cared about. And she walked away like it was nothing. You start questioning everything. What did I do wrong? Does she even miss me? Will she ever regret leaving? Here's a hard truth. As long as you're focused on her, she's not thinking about you. And if you're still texting, calling, checking her socials, or trying to stay in her life, you're making it easy for her to move on. No regrets, no second thoughts. If you really want her to regret losing you, there's only one move that works. Cut her off completely. Not out of bitterness, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. When you remove your presence from her life, your attention, your energy, your care, it creates a vacuum. A space she used to take for granted suddenly feels empty. That's when the regret starts. That's when the what-if questions creep into her mind. But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes discipline, it takes control, and it takes a mindset shift from chasing her to choosing you. This isn't about making her jealous or playing mind games. It's about going ghost with purpose. Quietly walking away without drama. No last messages. No emotional outbursts. Just calm, confident disappearance. And while she's out there trying to figure out what happened, you're focused on leveling up, building your life, and becoming the kind of man she'll wish she never lost. Let's break it down step by step, starting with how to disappear without saying a single word. 1. Disappear. Without the drama, like the smart men do. Let's talk facts, not feelings. Most men, after a breakup, feel this urge to explain themselves. They want to talk things through, get closure, or prove their worth. So what do? They send that emotional text, "We need to talk." They pour out their hearts. They ask if she's sure. They try to negotiate one last conversation. Here's what happens next. She pulls further away. Why? Because the more you talk, the more control you give her. And nothing kills attraction or triggers regret faster than a man begging for attention she's already decided to withdraw. Now think about the men who do the opposite, the ones who vanish without saying a word. No goodbyes, no explanations, no guilt trips, just silence. I've seen it play out in real life more than once. One guy I know was completely invested in a woman. He thought she was the one. Then, out of nowhere, she said she needed space. Instead of chasing her or trying to fix it, he said nothing. Literally nothing. He didn't send a single message. "No, I miss you." "No, we need to talk." He removed her from social media, stopped responding to her friends, and just disappeared. Weeks later, she was the one reaching out, sending texts, calling late at night, even showing up at his place. Why? Because silence speaks. She didn't expect him to be that calm, that collected, that unavailable. It made her question everything. That's what you need to understand. Women are emotional creatures. When you react with zero drama, it messes with their expectations. You're supposed to chase, right? You're supposed to fight for her. But when you don't, it makes her wonder what she lost and who you really are without her. You don't need to announce your exit. That's what weak men do. Strong men don't do speeches. They just leave, not to be cold. Not to punish, but to protect their peace and hold on to their dignity. And guess what? That silence becomes power. It gives her space to feel your absence. It forces her to sit with the choice she made. So if you're thinking about sending that one last message, don't. If you're tempted to ask for closure, don't. If she cut you off, let her feel what it's like without your presence, quietly. You don't need a "we need to talk" moment to make a woman regret losing you. All you need is the discipline to walk away and say nothing. Because when you disappear without drama, that's when the real regret begins. 2. The social media blackout, strategic vanishing. After a breakup, one of the first places she'll check is your social media. Not because she misses you, at first, but because she's curious. She wants to see how you're reacting, what you're posting, and whether you're hurting. And most guys take the bait. They start posting gym selfies, party pics, quotes about moving on or finding peace. They act like they're unbothered, But guess what? She can smell the performance. She knows it's for her, and that gives her even more power. The smarter move? Total blackout. That means no stories, no posts, no likes, comments, or reactions. No cryptic, I'm doing fine energy. Go completely dark. This is what we call strategic vanishing. You're not just going silent, you're making it impossible for her to read you. And when a woman can't read a man she used to have figured out, it drives her crazy. I've seen it happen over and over. A buddy of mine got blindsided by a breakup. Instead of acting out online, he deleted every post that involved her, unfollowed her, and stopped posting entirely. At first, she didn't care, but by week 2, she was watching his old stories. Week 3, she was liking old photos. Week 4, she sent a "Hey, just checking in" DM. Why? Because he created a void she couldn't fill. That silence online made her feel disconnected, uninformed, left out. And here's the part that matters. He didn't respond. By staying invisible, he became a mystery again. Not a man trying to prove something, but a man who simply moved on without announcing it. That's rare, and rare makes people think twice. The key here is discipline. Because you'll be tempted to post something to show her you're fine, or maybe try to make her jealous. Don't. If you really want her to regret losing you, she has to feel the loss, not watch your highlights. So here's what you do. Turn off your story settings so she can't see them, or don't post at all. Mute or block her if you keep getting pulled into her page. Take a break from your socials altogether if you have to. You're not deleting your online presence. You're going underground. Quiet, controlled, private. That silence? It's a message, and it hits harder than any quote, status update, or flashy post could ever do. Women expect men to react, to reach out, to slip up online. But when you vanish completely, that's when she starts asking herself the question you want her to ask. Did I just lose a man who was actually worth keeping? 3. Show, don't tell. Why quiet growth hits. Harder than bragging women don't regret losing the man who won't shut up about how great he's doing. They regret losing the man who silently levels up and lets the results do the talking. After the fallout, it's tempting to prove a point. You want her to see that you're doing better, that you're unbothered. So you start showing off. New clothes, gym progress, upgraded car, vacation pics, hanging with other women. On the surface, it looks like confidence. But to her, it just looks like noise. When a man starts bragging, it screams one thing: he's still thinking about me. That's not the message you want to send. Now compare that to the guy who simply disappears, and then months later, she hears through the grapevine that he started his own business, dropped 15 pounds, bought a new place, or found peace. No announcement, no parade, just results. That's the man who lives rent-free in her mind. Because true success doesn't need an audience. When you're really thriving, you're too focused on the mission to constantly broadcast it. And that quiet confidence, that calm growth, it hits way harder than forced flexing. Let me give you a real-world example. A friend of mine ended things with his longtime girlfriend. No drama, no begging, no showboating. He didn't flood his social media with photos of his new lifestyle. Instead, he kept things low-key, focused on his business, hit the gym consistently, cleaned up his style. A few months in, he got promoted, moved into a better apartment, and started traveling more. Not to show off, but because he actually could. Eventually, she heard about it, not from him, but from mutual friends. That's when the calls started. The just checking in texts, the late night likes on his photos. Why? Because the silence mixed with real growth made her wonder, what if I gave up on the best version of him before he fully arrived? That's what you're aiming for. So what should you do? Stay consistent in private. Your results will eventually speak for themselves. Post rarely, and when you do, keep it natural. No captions that scream, "I'm winning now." Let others notice the changes instead of announcing them. Growth after a fallout isn't about proving her wrong. It's about becoming the man she never thought you'd become, without needing her validation to do it. So skip the bragging, drop the ego, focus on building your reality so solid that when she finally sees it, it hits her in the gut. You don't have to shout that you're doing better. Let her hear it in your silence and see it when it's too late to come back. 4. Don't reply too fast. How instant responses kill the power shift. Here's something most men don't realize. Every time you respond to her fast, especially after things ended, you send a silent message. And that message is, I'm still here, waiting for you. You may think you're just being polite, mature, or not playing games. But to her, it's a sign you haven't moved on. You're still emotionally available. You're still in her pocket. And that ruins the power shift. Let me break it down. After the fallout, if she sends a casual message, hey, how have you been? Or even something as weak as reacting to a story, she's not always trying to reconnect. Sometimes she's testing the waters. She wants to see if she still has access to you. And if you reply within minutes, that tells her everything she needs to know. Now she knows you're still invested, still reachable, still waiting. That kills the mystery. The regret fades. And your value drops. Let me give you a real-life example. A guy I know went through a tough ending with a woman he really cared about. She pulled away, said she needed space, and stopped replying to his texts. So he did the smart thing. He went silent. No contact for a month. She finally texted him, hey, saw something that reminded me of you. Hope you're good. Instead of jumping on it, he waited. A full day. No anger, no games, just calm control. Then he sent a short, neutral reply the next evening. Appreciate it. Hope all's well your side too. No follow-up, no questions, no energy thrown her way. You know what happened? She started texting more, trying harder, opening up. She couldn't figure him out anymore. That silence, that calm delay, it flipped the script. Suddenly she was chasing. That's the power shift. Now imagine if he had responded within 2 minutes with, hey, I've missed you too. Let's catch up. Game over, power gone. She gets the validation without doing the work. You need to understand this. The way you respond after she reaches out is either building your value or destroying it. If you're always quick to respond, always available, always enthusiastic, you're handing your power back every time. So here's the move. Don't rush to reply. Even if you're excited, pause. Stay neutral. Don't send emotional messages. Match her energy, or lower. If she sends one sentence, don't reply with a paragraph. Every second you delay, every time you don't jump to attention, you're reminding her you're not on her leash anymore. This isn't about being rude. It's about being in control. When you slow things down, you flip the dynamic. She starts to realize you're no longer sitting around waiting. You're busy, you've moved on, and suddenly she's not so sure she made the right call. That's how regret starts. And it all begins with how and when you reply. 5. Make her work to regain access. No free passes. This time, if you give her access too easily after everything, she won't value it. Period. One of the biggest mistakes men make when a woman comes back around is letting her walk right in like nothing happened. No questions, no standards, no change. Just open arms and, I missed you too. That's not power, that's desperation. And it kills any chance of her truly regretting walking away. Here's what you need to understand. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. If she left, disappeared, or treated you like an option, then tried to slide back into your life later, you don't just let her. You make her earn it. Let me hit you with a real story. One guy I know got ghosted after seeing a girl for a few months. No explanation, no goodbye. She just stopped responding. Instead of chasing, he stayed calm, cut her off completely, moved on with his life. A couple of months later, boom, she starts liking his posts, watching his stories. Then comes the "Hey strangers" message. Now most dudes would fold here, not this guy. He replied with a simple, "Didn't expect to hear from you. What's up?" She replied saying she missed him and wanted to see how he's been. His response? Delayed, short, cool, no flirting, no plans, no opening the door back up. She kept trying though, reached out 3 separate times. Finally, he hit her with, "I don't just hand out access like before. If you're serious, you'll show me something different." Boom, that's the energy. He didn't curse her out, he didn't block her, he didn't play games, he just raised the bar. If she wanted back in, she had to earn it, with consistent effort, changed behavior, and respect. And here's the punchline. She did. She worked for it. Because now it meant something. See, when you make yourself available with no standards, she won't value you. But when you make her work to regain access, when she feels your new energy, your growth, your control, that's when it hits. You're not being cold. You're being a man who knows his worth. So what does this look like in practice? Set boundaries. Don't let her slip back into old roles easily. Control the pace. If you do respond, do it on your time. Make her qualify herself. Ask what's changed. Let her show growth, not just say it. Stay focused on you. Don't drop your momentum just because she showed up. Access to your world should feel earned, because once it does, she'll think twice before risking it again. And that's when the regret gets real. 6. The new you, glow up, done without her. Let's talk about your glow up, not the one you post about, not the one you try to show off, but the real one, the one that happens in silence, behind closed doors, without her in the picture. There's nothing more powerful than a man who reinvents himself without the woman who left him. That's the glow up that hits different. See, when most guys go through the fallout, they either crumble or pretend they're fine. But the smart ones, they turn the pain into power. They use the space to refocus, rebuild, and come back sharper, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. And here's the key. You don't do it to get her back. You do it because you finally see how far you let yourself slip trying to keep her. Let me give you an example. A guy I knew was in a long-term relationship where he stopped focusing on himself. He got comfortable, gained weight, lost focus, put her needs first all the time, thought that's what love was. When she ended things, he was crushed. But instead of begging or falling apart, he made a decision. She's gone, but I'm still here. Let's see what I can become without her. He hit the gym, cleaned up his diet, started dressing better. He cut back on drinking, got serious about his career, and began surrounding himself with better people. No announcements, no watch me now energy, just silent improvement. 6 months later, he looked like a different man. His mindset was sharper, his confidence was back, his peace was solid. And guess who noticed? She did, of course. She reached out, complimented how he looked, said she was proud of him, asked if he wanted to catch up. But the thing is, he didn't need her anymore. The new version of him wasn't built for her. It was built from what she left behind. That's the kind of glow up that changes the game. So what does your glow up look like? Physically, get in shape, clean up your style, walk taller. Mentally, read more, learn more, cut off the noise. Control your emotions. Emotionally, stop reacting, start responding, heal. Financially, stack your money, build your value, stay focused. None of this needs to be flashy. You don't need to post every step. You don't need anyone to clap for you. Because your glow up isn't about showing her what she lost, it's about realizing what you were capable of all along. When you level up without her help, without her support, without her even being in the picture, that's when she really feels it. And that's when she regrets it. You don't glow to get her back. You glow so she can't believe she ever let you go. 7. Replace her before you're replaced. The power of moving on. First, let's talk strategy. One of the coldest, most effective moves a man can make when things end is simple. Replace her energy before she replaces yours. Now, this isn't about jumping into a rebound or pretending to be over her by chasing someone new. It's about being proactive instead of reactive. It's about moving forward before she does, mentally, emotionally, and socially. Because if she thinks she's the one upgrading while you're still stuck in the past, there's no regret. But if she sees you already stepped into something better, something calmer, something stronger, that's when it hits her. Let's look at 2 real-life examples. Case 1. The waiting game lost all power. A guy stayed hung up on his ex for months. Wouldn't talk to other women, wouldn't go out, kept hoping she'd change her mind. Meanwhile, she moved on quickly, posting with a new guy, living her healing era while he sat in emotional limbo. She never came back. Why would she? There was no contrast, no shift, no spark of, maybe I lost a good thing. He waited too long. The regret never came because he made himself easy to forget. Case 2. The quick pivot, power move. Another guy, same situation. Girlfriend left him suddenly after years together. Instead of begging or going dark without direction, he leaned into leveling up and reconnecting socially. He wasn't out here chasing just anyone, but he also wasn't sitting still. He upgraded his routine, started meeting new people, and casually started seeing a woman who actually respected his time and energy. He didn't post her, didn't flaunt her, just moved forward with peace. A few weeks later, the ex found out, not because he announced it, but because mutual friends talked. Her reaction? Texts, late night, hope you're okay messages, subtle check-ins. Why? Because the story she told herself that he'd be stuck, hurt, waiting was suddenly destroyed. She didn't expect him to replace her vibe so quickly and peacefully, and that's the key. You don't need to replace her just with another woman, you replace her energy. That includes being around people who support your growth, connecting with women who actually show interest and respect, filling your life with forward motion, not backward thinking. She thought she had time, she thought you'd be stuck, but you flipped the script. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. She's already preparing to move on the moment she starts pulling away. So don't wait for it to happen to you. Be first, not to win or be petty, but because your peace can't depend on someone who chose to leave. The moment she sees you no longer need her space, attention, or validation, that's when her mind starts racing. That's when the questions begin. And when she realizes you already replaced what she thought was irreplaceable, that's when regret settles in. Men, listen closely. You are the prize. Stop begging, chasing, or waiting for someone who didn't see your worth. Cut her off, level up, and let your silence and success speak. Don't let the modern dating world fool you with lies about settling, simping, or being less masculine. Choose wisely. Protect your time, your energy, and your future. Build yourself into the man she'll wish she never lost, but who no longer wants her back. You don't need revenge. You need discipline, purpose, and standards. Now rise up, take control, and never give access to someone who didn't value it the first time.